Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, August 26th. It's crazy. It's almost September, but with the end of the month begins an epic journey, one that I will not go into detail about because we are going to have the people that are pioneering this for us to tell us all about them. These are familiar faces in the Tesla community. You all know who Bearded Tesla is, aka Justin. Teslatino, Rafael, and of course, Gary Mark. So from Ontario. So you know all of these familiar faces. I've known them for years, and I could not be more excited, especially when they started giving clues about this epic journey, which is called the Arctic CyberTREK. They've been dropping so many clues, and then seeing the transformation of their two Cybertrucks that they're taking up there has been crazy. All of the fun little journeys. I know Teslatino has a couple of fun stories on the back end of how he finally was able to put his rig together. But these guys have gone all out. I know Justin will share a little bit more about this, but it sounds like this has been in the works potentially for years. So let's introduce our special guests and let's get this announcement made. So Justin, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. By the way, shout out Maui Strong. Still thinking about you guys.
Definitely. All right. Teslatino, how's it going?
Good, John. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And then, of course, Gary Mark, how's it going, buddy?
Going great.
I feel like I need your background right now. I need to be like walking somewhere with a river in the back. Well, awesome, guys. So I don't know who wants to make the announcement or how we want to go into this, but first off, I just want to hear from whoever wants to kick it off. What are you guys doing? That's the most important thing. And then, of course, we'll go into there and to potentially the details and what this looks like and your whole mission statement behind what this epic journey is.
Yeah, so we are proud. We are happy to announce that we are embarking on the Cybertruck officially. We are a few days behind due to some shipping issues. We were supposed to be starting today, but unfortunately we had some delays, so we're still making the announcement today, though. As promised, the Arctic CyberTREK is officially happening. So what is this? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Basically, we are starting in Dawson City, which is way up. It's basically the last place you can find a charger in the Arctic North, and we are traversing 1,000 miles round trip on an unpaved, very tough environment road and with no charging infrastructure in place all the way to the Arctic Ocean. So all this talk about EVs can't do, I'm going to show you they absolutely can do.
Teslatino or Gary, from your perspective, what do you feel like you're doing and what are you excited about?
Go ahead, Rafael.
Well, I'm super excited because when Justin invited me to participate with him on this journey, I have been actually planning on doing something similar to the same place, but we merged the initiative, the long planning that Justin had with my desire to do it and be able to live the life to the fullest. And we started thinking about things that we could do. And making some arrangements. And I think we have a great story to tell. I think we're going to be paving the way for others in a way that's different, right? Because this place exists for centuries and people have been visiting, but nothing like the things that we're going to be doing and the things that we're going to be doing for the general public. Yeah, so I'm super excited, super stoked about this. I'm not by myself. Nancy's here with me as well. So it's going to be a team of 2 Cybertrucks, 4 adults, all the way to the end of the world.
Or more like 4 kids.
4 kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Gary, tell us a little bit about what you're excited about and what you're up to.
Well, this is a tremendous challenge. Obviously, this road, the Dempster Highway, only came to be in the late 70s. And the roadbed goes through the boreal forest all the way up to the tundra. And basically, the roadbed consists of broken up crushed shale, which is the natural rock that's in the area. So Unfortunately, the shale can be very sharp, and so it's very treacherous for any vehicles going up that highway, and that results in a lot of tire punctures and breakdowns. And so, couple that with the often extreme weather, there's washboard conditions on the gravel, which means that the car is so rippled, or the road is so rippled that it's almost jarring to the vehicles and basically breaks apart vehicles that try and traverse this road. And the very end part, where we're in Inuvik of Northwest Territories and to Tuktoyaktuk, where the Arctic Ocean is, that portion of highway was only completed in 2017. So very few vehicles have actually traversed there with regards to electric vehicles. Now, there are some precedents, but this will be definitely a first for 2 EV pickup trucks, and I think that we're going to be blazing a trail here.
So my question is, why did you pick this location? Like, out of all of the places that you could have picked, why this place? Why this trek in this specific location?
It's the end of the world, John.
Was there a couple of locations in consideration, or was it like when you think of just one spot, it had to have been this?
It had to be this place. It's pretty well known. It's renowned for what it is, where it is. It's so remote. There's likely less than 1,000 residents in that 1,000 round trip miles. And it's so remote, lacks infrastructure that would be suitable for EVs. And, there's a lot of challenges with that. The Canadian government, who I've been talking to for a couple of years now, like in 2019, they literally earmarked a lot of money, millions of dollars, to electrify the Dempster. And once things start getting into the planning stages, the problem becomes, how do you deploy DC fast chargers in an area where legitimately parts of the population are powered by diesel generators? Like entire towns, diesel generators, that's their power. You can't just plop a coal-fired power plant in this untouched natural environment that we have an obligation to protect. And so the challenges are vast and immense, and that's why here we are 5 years later and there's still no charging on the Dempster. I can't go into all the specifics and details on some of the sponsorships and things like that, but I'm so proud to announce that the 4 of us are bringing along 6 Tesla wall connectors. These 6 wall connectors will be installed along the route, and once they are installed, those GPS coordinates, we're going to be sending those up to the mothership at Tesla. And you in California, you in Florida, you anywhere will be able to see these chargers on your map in your Tesla. So we're literally putting Tesla on the map on the Dempster, and it needed to be Tesla with their robust equipment and their reputation for simple yet reliable charging. So there will be level 2 chargers up and down this route for those who come after us.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. I mean, because that's the first thing I was going to ask. How are you going to charge? I mean, most people are running their lives off of, as you said, diesel generators. So first off, I think if we step back a little bit, how many years in the works has this been going? It sounds like obviously Tesla Tino and you, Justin, you guys have kind of come together. But how long have you been planning this? And then I want to know, how did you select the different locations to essentially install these chargers? Because obviously, it's a long trek, 1,000 miles round trip.
Yeah. I mean, this for a long time had been a dream. For the last 2 years, however, it's been active planning. I almost had an attempt on this trip at the early part of 2023, but long story short, it didn't work out. But active, literal planning for 2 years on this specific trip. And fortunately, the other 3 folks that are joining me were also dreaming this wonderful dream. And 4 heads are way better than 1. So supercharging the formal side of this trip has really taken off in the last several months, really.
It's
Yeah.
a fortuitous happenstance that I had learned that Justin was planning this, because I actually had been roughly planning this with the Tesla Clubhouse community back in 2021, and just sort of even sort of cementing something that possibly I was going to be going up with Zach Feldstein, Black Model 3, but he had other plans, and so this was just sort of like, wow, okay, Justin's doing this. And in fact, the reason why we're choosing this end of the month is because I've got house renovations going on, and the timing is pretty much my fault. But it turns out we had to wait for the shipping anyway, so that's sort of the case.
That's the way to do it. Plan an epic trip while you do home you do renovation, so you can do it.
Yeah.
But how did you guys? My question is, how did you even? So again, 1,000 miles. How did you pick the locations, and then how did you even get in connections with these people across the way?
Okay, so the final destination is Tuktoyaktuk, which is the terminus of the road right at the Arctic Ocean. And there is another route that goes through to the Dawson Highway in Alaska. However, they don't actually make it to the ocean. You come up to a private property of an oil field, and only with the special granting of permission that you would actually be able to get to the Arctic Ocean. So this is actually the single road that actually accesses the Arctic Ocean, being like I said, only opened in 2017. So it is a fairly new road, and it's a new road that is very fragile, because it's anywhere from 1 meter to 3 meters of gravel on top of permafrost. So they didn't want to dig down a roadbed that would affect the permafrost, because if you had any sort of melting of the permafrost, you would have very devastating effects on the road surface. So this is a unique challenge in traveling to this terminus of Tuktoyaktuk in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah, that's incredible. How was when you guys were going about planning this and telling them a little bit? They're probably like, "Why is this person from Florida?" Or obviously, Gary, I don't know how involved you were, but like, how were they receiving these calls? Were they like, that's really dumb? Like, why would you want to do that? Like, where are you going to charge? I mean, you don't have solar panels on your car, do you?
No solar panels. I was doing a lot of the liaison, talking to the local officials and local infrastructure. So we are actually using a lot of the mechanic shops and workshops that are along the way, because obviously there's a lot of upkeep to this highway, and the oasis that we're going to be at the middle of the Dempster Highway. They do have a 240 volt, or is a 208 volt charging infrastructure that was meant for their what is it? Their table saw. So and also their welder. So like that is in place, and we're hoping to talk to their and work with their electrician to add the chargers as mentioned. And then in Inuvik, which is the next sort of population center in Northwest Territories, there are a couple businesses that I've been in touch with. I guess one is a mechanic shop, and the other one is a tire place. So obviously, the local businesses are very key to being able to charge.
So obviously the most important question is, I was jealous. I thought I had the coolest Cybertruck, and then you guys go and just make your Cybertrucks absolutely amazing. So talk to us a little bit about, I think obviously you guys are both using some of the same, infrastructure as far as like what you've built, but tell us a little bit about how you guys have prepared your Cybertrucks for this epic journey.
Well, John, when we were at the X Takeover just a few weeks ago, we saw a few companies that had really cool products. That was one of the things that kind of started shaping the current state of my Cybertruck. I had been planning, and I actually did some like very rough release of racks and things like that for my Starlink. You saw it at the takeover. And but when I saw a couple of the things that were there, there was a good chemistry between us and a group of folks that were there. They have a startup, small company called Urender, and they are the ones that build the cage that both Justin and I are now sporting in our Cybertrucks. This allows us to set up a proper overlanding rig, because we need to carry some stuff with us, but we also need to make the space livable. I have been on the road since June 10. So I just been building my truck as I've been driving it. Basically, I had to meet people all over the country to do different things, and now the trucks are kind of ready to go. There's a couple of things that we're still going to put on the trucks that Justin has with him, and once we merge in just probably a few hours, because we're both driving from different directions, we're going to kind of combine forces and do some additional stuff to them. But that's pretty much how it all came to. We have a rooftop tent. We have obviously the frame. We have recovery gear. We have way to preserve our food and to cook it if we need to. And a lot of desire to bring this journey to the masses in terms of very entertaining, not only very serious, but it's also going to be very entertaining. We are both going to document it, and the content that is going to come out of this is going to be, in my opinion, very entertaining and educational as well.
Yeah, Justin, you want to go a little bit, maybe anything that Tesla Tino didn't cover about your rig or your setup?
Yeah, we can't thank our sponsors enough. As you saw just the other day, once we gave the next teaser, you could see all the stickers on the side of the truck. Whatever. Those are our sponsors, and they believe in what we're doing as much as we do, and they've stepped forward on this project to help us make this a reality. I want to be clear about whatever impression there is. This is not a profit project for us. Everything I have is on the line, but we could not do this without these sponsors. Unplugged Performance providing the world's best beadlock and hex wheels. These forged wheels are made for these environments. And Goodyear providing the BF Goodrich tires, which are made for these really harsh roads. And the rack from Urander, and Magvac Sexy Buttons, EVJect. I know I'm missing some. Everybody.
We have the Inspired Overland is the
Inspired
rooftop tent
Overland.
as well, carbon fiber lightweight tent, low profile, that helps us with both range and weight.
And all these sponsors, this is gear that we need for this trip, and this is gear that's tailored for this type of an adventure. And we're blessed that they can see the story we're trying to tell and have bought in on that story as well. And I honestly cannot wait to share the story. And a lot of people have asked over the last couple of days what I'm most worried about, and my biggest fear right now is messing this story up, because there's the story to be told is very complex, and there's multiple stories to be told here. On one hand, there's a lot of FUD about electric vehicles. The Cybertruck gets a lot of hate itself. That's a story that needs to be told about what this truck is capable of. And I hope that the engineers who have worked tirelessly on delivering such an awesome product are I hope that they feel pride in the story of the Cybertruck. The people in these towns and that live in these harsh environments, they have a story to tell, and I hope that they feel pride in the story that we bring together for them. Putting chargers in place, this is going to allow people to experience adventure for themselves, but also to help with the economies in this region as well. Now we have access to an entire new consumer who doesn't have to think twice about coming to visit. And then we also have some very serious climate concerns that need to be considered when doing things like this. And how do we do this in a responsible way? There's so many things that we're trying to do, and I'm trying my best to ensure that we are telling this story in a responsible way, and that brings people pride when they're highlighted in this and their specific stories. I truly hope that they walk away from this thinking, hell yeah, that's what we did, and that's what we're focused on.
Are you focused on, like, are you guys going to put out one storyline, or is it going to be, you know, 3 various storylines through different like lenses? Like, how are you guys approaching telling this story? And then eventually I want to get into what is, like, as far as like biggest challenges, what are you guys expecting to face? Like, how have you even prepared mentally for something like this? But yeah, so I'll kick that to whoever. Obviously, you know, let's talk a little bit about the first part.
Yeah, there's several different versions that'll be coming out. My focus on this is going to be my first attempt at a documentary, so it's very indie
Documentary,
grassroots.
what?
I'm trying to put together a proper documentary for this with a shoestring budget. I don't have like a production team or a crew, unfortunately, but I'm going to do my best in a documentary style to tell these stories all in one. So it's going to be probably pretty lengthy, but it'll be one. Tesla, you know, Rafael, you want to share yours? And I know, Gary, you have your own story as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, overall, I'm basically going to append to all the travel adventures that we have been doing for years now. This is not a new initiative style for me. What is new about it is the challenge, right? As the time goes by, we have become, you know, sort of seasoned in the sense that we like to be on the road, right? A lot to learn because every place we go to is different. Finding places to sleep when you intend to stay at places like forest and untouched land, you want to be far away from everyone. So I want to bring that part to the table. Also, some of the strategies that we use, and definitely the fun that can be had. This is not only a miserable journey, right? Because it's going to be tough, but it needs to be fun. And I want to make sure that we have that fun, the 4 of us, right? Nancy's right next to me here. She's not on the camera, but she's right here enjoying absolutely everything that we are discussing. And she's a critical part of the journey that I want to make sure that is acknowledged, because this is as serious as it is, it needs to be fun. And, you know, people that know me for a long time know that I try to live my life to the fullest now after my incident with a near-death experience. And, you know, there's like nothing better than doing it with friends and being able to become part of something bigger than you. And that's the way I want to document it, right? Make sure that people understand that it's tough, but it's fun.
This is why I call it 4 responsible adults, or 4 responsible kids doing this adventure, not adults.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
So my last spin is that I'm not particularly experienced with regards to Tesla content. My actual business is kite flying. So this is the spin that I'm bringing, is that when we're up in the in Tuktoyaktuk, I will be attempting to fly one of my key kites that I have commissioned, and it's a 10-meter Starman kite, and that's about 33 feet long, if people are asking, in the other units. And it's going to be attempted to fly that kite up at the Arctic Ocean. So we'll try and do that also at the Arctic Circle once we reach the Arctic Circle. And so people in the kite community certainly know who I am. Maybe not the Tesla community, but this is my sort of spin. I sort of bridge those 2 worlds.
Yeah, no, seeing that. that Starman kite, man, when you posted some of those were amazing, dude. Like, I was like, what is this? And then you told me how big it was. I was like, holy, like 33 feet, man, that's insane.
Yeah. And it's really timed because we got Polaris Dawn launching tomorrow. So, I mean, this is very, very opportune time.
Yeah, I wanted to add something to my comment I forgot to mention. And only Nancy knows this. Gary and Justin don't know about it. I have a surprise for the summit, for the end of the road, that we're going to do something that has never been done at the Arctic Ocean, and I can't wait to share it. I'm sure that Gary and Justin are going to ask me what it is now, but I've been working with someone from Europe on this surprise, and I can't wait to share it.
Well, I hope you know, my channel is basically family focused, so I hope it's appropriate for that, Rafael.
It's definitely general audience friendly.
General.
No, it's actually G. It's perfect.
Well, now I'm dying to know what that is. So that's gonna kill me for the next couple of hours. Coming full circle here. So the next part of your question: what are some of the challenges of what we're facing? Right, there's some very serious.
Justin, before you get into that, tell us a little bit. How long is this trip? First off, like, how long do you guys expect this trip to be? And then let's go into like everyone's perspective on like the biggest challenges and your mental state going into this.
Yeah, so geez, I left Thursday night, you know, just to get to the start line. It's 4,500 miles. Gary is fortunate enough, he lives quite a bit closer, so he's able to get a couple of connecting flights to get much closer to the start line. Rafael has already done like 200,000 miles in Cybertruck basically at this point, so he's already close, relatively speaking. You know, 4,500 miles from Florida to the start line. Understand, it's even from LA, it's 2,500 miles to the start line. This is way up there. And once we get there, that 1,000 miles round trip in a perfect world with nothing that pops up that kills time, 5 days. I don't know that that's how this is going to play out, but it would be 1 day getting to the Arctic Circle, 1 day getting to Inuvik, 1 day getting to and back from the Arctic Ocean, 1 day getting back to Arctic Circle, 1 day getting back to Dawson City. So that's 5 days in a perfect world.
All right. Well, there you have it. The initial goal is 5 days. But so tell us a little bit about what are you expecting? What are the unknowns and the challenges that could happen? Like, what are you guys even prepared for? I mean, obviously, I would assume probably anything at this point, but you know, what exactly are like some of the biggest challenges of, you know, doing a trip like this?
There's a lot of challenges. You know, there's life-threatening challenges even. This is so remote. We both Rafael and I have Starlink. So we do have access to reliable and awesome internet, which is great. That's a good backup to have communication. But, you know, if you break down, I mean, you could be by yourself for hours before somebody comes by, depending on how the flow goes. There's 2 river crossings. You know, the ferries that cross those rivers are constantly going through maintenance. And that's another challenge. The wildlife itself is a major challenge. Number one, we don't want to disturb. But we do want to highlight. But there are black bears, grizzly bears, and polar bears. Just 3 weeks ago, polar bears were pictured on the Dempster. You know, they say black bears, you make a lot of noise. Grizzly bears, you get still as possible. Polar bears, you're dead. So, like, all ranges of that are there. The treachery of the road itself, it is. I mean, it wants to destroy your vehicle and your tires.
It's what I described. It's crushed shale, and shale, if you've crushed it, it is very, very sharp, and it's not just simply a puncture. It's gonna shred your tire. It'll just cut it up.
Yep. And then we have obviously the challenges with any of these electric systems. Some of these electric systems, like literally a diesel generator in a shed, and some of the wiring is 30, 40, 50 years old. So there's challenges there that we could, face where, maybe it's not going to go quite according to plan while we're there, and may need upgraded after our time there. So, but I am optimistically hopeful that all these challenges are just part of the experience, but they will all work out.
So Rafael and Gary, yeah, what are your opinions on what are like biggest challenges as well?
Yeah, before we jump into that, I wanted to add that for additional details that we're going to be documenting, we have a website which is arcticcybertrek.com, and I posted it on the comments window. So I just wanted to call that out. You know what? In terms of challenges, I feel I'm ready for anything that comes. We have been not just thinking about this, but taking action. We just did our last provisions purchase, right? So we stop at a supermarket right now just to get some stuff that can last a long time, and we're carrying everything that we think we need, and a lot of tenacity. So I think we're ready. The tires is the biggest concern that I have, but at the same time, I'm not trying to dread it. Like, we can't float our way to it. We have to drive it, and we're ready to drive it. We have the right tires, we have the right wheels that were provided by Unplug. We have good entertainment books, for example, our friend Chris Jones that wrote a book, Mars Mission 1. We're bringing that with us for not electric-powered entertainment as well, and some board games. So in any case, I think we're ready for this, man.
Gary, what's going through your mind?
I think definitely the charging situation. There's the fact that we have two vehicles, and in fact, there's a couple other Teslas that are en route and on the highway as well right now that I have documented or and been able to ascertain. So hopefully there's not too much overlap, and then the waiting shouldn't be so long. But I'm trying to coordinate as much as possible with those guys that as soon as I find out. So certainly I'm making this announcement. If there's any other people that are on the road going up the Dempster, we'd certainly like to coordinate if you are doing so, because we don't want to be adversely affecting each other's journeys.
So I want to loop back to like why. Why do we need to do something like this? Like, why is this important? You mentioned a little bit, but I mean, any sane person, even if you were in a gas car where, let's say it was maybe a little bit easier of a trek. I mean, this seems like it's very remote. It seems like the conditions pretty much could destroy your car. And obviously, it just seems like, it's just like it goes back to the why. Like, why do this? Like, don't you guys enjoy just sitting, I don't know, in the Florida sun and just soaking up, the beard and all that stuff? But like, why is this important for humanity, for even the EV community, and like, what are you guys planning to showcase?
It's important for many reasons. There's the obvious FUD to fight. That's easy, but there's more to this. And I got to be careful what I say, but when we go on trips like this, when we are showing how you can solve this problem with today's technology, you don't have to have millions of dollars in fast charging equipment and running hundreds of miles of cable. We have solutions today, and that's what we're hoping. Governments, local governments are considering scaling back their plans because they've become too big. We want the fastest, best, brand new thing when, hey, a couple of wall connectors, a couple level 2 chargers can solve this problem. And I think that's an important message to get out there as well. There's places that are inaccessible to EVs today that could be accessible like that for very little investment as well. And the benefits of having those in place, and the types of tourism that you can draw to your community, or give equal access to those communities for the folks up there that may want to drive an electric vehicle rather than a gas or a diesel in those harsh environments.
Gary or Rafael, you want to?
Well,
Chime in?
I just observed that Rafael is torture testing his vehicle and providing inputs to Wes over at Tesla as well. So Tesla is really watching Rafael's adventures closely, and this is, you know, real world driving that Rafael is doing is definitely, you know, giving that input into making the Cybertruck better. And as I mentioned, like, you know, the road is going to be a challenge in itself just because of the washboard conditions, the shale. It's going to really be a torture test on the durability of the vehicle. Uh, we have high confidence with the Cybertruck, but this is something that we wanted to make sure that Tesla is aware of, and that the actual end result, reaching the Arctic Ocean, that is, you know, we're reaching that top of the world in terms of the road. You know, like, other than some ice roads that are only seasonal, that you can reach up to you know, the high Arctic in Northwest Territories. This is literally a paved, well, not paved, but a constructed road that is to the Arctic Ocean. So this is our opportunity to show that the Cybertrucks can do it.
And it's open year round too, by the way.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I want to highlight that we humans are creatures of adventure, explorers. Think of people like Lewis and Clark and Buzz Aldrin and all these great people that did and are still doing, like Jared Isaacson with the stuff he's doing. Um, you know, Elon driving things like these initiatives that are significantly of higher magnitude, and we're doing something that is minuscule. But why? You know, I think we're doing it in part not just to educate and help others. I think we are just adventurers at heart. You know, and for every, it's no joke when I say we have been on the road for a while, but there are people that live on the road. There's a whole entire community of people. It becomes another, like we have been joining additional communities as we go along. Now it's not only the EV community, it's the nomad community, it's the adventurers community, it's the wanna be famous or ones that don't care about those, right? Like we meet all kinds of people on this. And I think for me personally, living your life to the fullest, going to places that it's hard to get to, I think that for me is one of the main driving factors. Because, you know, when Nancy and I are on the road, you know, yeah, it's a paved highway and we're going to a place. But once we leave that road, like we do on an almost daily basis, we leave the road, we drive a few miles inland on a forest or a desert, and we're isolated from everyone unless there's other people with the same mindset. It's very hard for me to explain how it feels. You have to do it to understand it. I have been following people doing this for years, and always thinking, man, I wish I could do that, but I was tied to a chair in front of a computer, you know, working crazy hours and just not really living my life to the fullest. And now I am, and I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. You know, it's just, that's for me the main reason why I'm doing it.
Yeah. So one question, obviously, you know, so thank you guys for sharing that. It's so inspiring. I'm so excited to see, you know, the final results. I'm so excited to support your guys' journey along the way. You know, the question I have is, like, how do you guys plan on, like, so you have 6 wall connectors. What will that connectivity and getting those online actually look like?
Yeah, so we've identified 3 businesses that we plan to install these. So two wall connectors at each location. There's still some question about the condition of the existing setup at some of these locations, but it's legitimately, you know, having these wall connectors in place. We're the companies themselves are not paying for the equipment. They're not being asked to you know, pay for that kind of a thing. So they're going to be in place there for everybody to cut that comes after in several locations. They're strategically placed so that most EVs can make this trek. Most modern EVs can make this trek without issue with range.
And it's to serve their communities as well. particularly in Inuvik. They in the Northwest Territories, they do have a mission to increase the amount of renewable energy. And obviously, it's a challenge when you're above the Arctic Circle, because 4 months out of the year, it's actually pure darkness. So solar is not an option in those 4 months. And so we need to look at other sort of energy sources, renewable energy sources, such as geothermal, and even like I just sort of thought of in recently is the small reactor nuclear as well, for these small communities to be able to provide some sustainable energy for these small communities.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible hearing about all of the story and all of the details really now, just how well thought out, how well planned it has all taken, how, kind of you've had obviously boots on the ground, kind of like making the calls with Gary and all that other stuff, but then just this grand vision, and everyone, you've had it from different perspectives, and somehow it's all kind of coming together. And, there's no better people to do this journey than I think the four of you, especially with just how much you guys have been on the road, especially in your two Cybertrucks. I mean, so it's just incredible. How many miles are in your Cybertrucks right now anyways?
Rafael has 200,000, like I said, right?
He even forgot.
You're on mute.
No, so this particular drive that started in June has been 15,800 miles. But the total lifetime mileage is 29,850. I'm diving into 30,000 miles today.
Wow.
But they have been fully, fun miles, kilometers, and it's been solid. So far I've had no issues, which, it's mind blowing, because regardless of how good these vehicles are, they are still, hardware. They're still, metal and things that, we humans made, and they can break, they can go wrong. But man, I've taken this thing through abuse. Tesla has inspected it twice already, just because I like to be, do my homework, make sure that everything's fine, and nothing has been fine, other than perhaps kind of making sure that bolts are tight. I personally have had no issues. I understand I'm probably lucky, but at the same time, I trust that this is just the way it is, and it should be. It's been great.
And it's a very, very important message that he's talking about. Regardless of what entertainment is being shilled to you these days, these trucks are incredible pieces of equipment that do some pretty incredible things that trucks are not supposed to do. And that is threatening to a lot of people. So anything that can be done to play them down is obviously being done. But I can tell you from my experience, and as Rafael just said himself, I have put this truck through the ringer, and I have had zero issues. And I can tell you, when you are towing nearly 10,000 pounds, 2,400 miles through potholes, the frame is not going to snap in half. And Rafael has already. Well, I've been keeping a close eye because they're so fragile, apparently. But it's nonsense. It just, those are the types of things that, quietly and as that side note, like, pay attention to what we're doing to these trucks, and see how they're surviving this stuff. They're doing phenomenal.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there any last tidbits as far as like how this truck is like the best truck to do this type of adventure? Or, is there like, would you guys have considered anything else? Obviously, partially you do own one, but would there have been another truck that you would have maybe considered to do this that's an electric?
I actually did consider another truck before we had an official timeline on Cybertruck. I tried very hard to do this trip in a Rivian. It doesn't matter the details. Things just didn't work out in the end. And I would still today consider a Rivian. There's not much else out there that I would consider, though. And maybe even in a short or a video here on X, if you know anything about washboard roads, we're going to blow you away on how smooth this thing is on some of the craziest, roughest roads. Like, you're not going to believe it. If you have not been in a Cybertruck, I don't think you understand. This is the smoothest riding Tesla today. And it is huge, and it is a truck, and it shouldn't do that.
Especially on off-road rubber with the right tire pressure for the particular road that you're traveling. And not to put down any, like, there's a lot of vehicles out there that are capable, right? Like, we're showing what this one can do. And there's a lot of incredible machinery out there. I'm a big fan of engineering in general, and I love cars, you know, been building race cars and off-road rigs. It's just great, fun work to do. But the way that we're going to do is going to be special because this particular vehicle hasn't been done. And, you know, we are like, I used to drive a F-250 turbo diesel. Like, we had all the stuff that come before this in the past. So we're just kind of taking another step, doing another type of adventure. Like, I will never say that I will never get on a gas car or whatever, or like, there's everything has a place. But right now, I think we're showing that this is the time for the EV community to shine, and super excited. I mean, yeah.
This is why I love Rafael. If you couldn't tell, there's not a lot of people that enjoy and understand tech and enjoy and understand like cars mechanically. And that's why I really love working with Rafael, because we share that passion. I too had diesel trucks, and I like diesel trucks. I know that's blasphemy, but you know, in that regard, we're car people. And it just so happens that Tesla makes some of the best cars today. So those two just come together so beautifully. And it's going to be great.
And if you guys allow me, I want to shout out to everyone that has made this same journey through the same road in the past before us, whether it's been electric or been gas or been diesel or in bicycles. There's people doing this, walking it. This is an incredible journey to have, no matter how you do it. So I encourage anyone that wants to do the homework, as long as you prepare the right way, you'll be able to do it and enjoy it. We have never experienced this. I haven't experienced Alaska either, so that's also on my plans. And there's other really, really remote places that I'm planning on going to. So stick around. This is going to be a fun ride, everyone.
Yeah. What are the weather conditions going to be like?
Right now, we're lucky. So we've been keeping a very close eye on this. It's been changing weekly. We were toying with the first snow of the year a few weeks ago, but it has since come up a bit, thankfully, because as you said earlier, Florida man does enjoy sitting in the sun, basking with his beard in the breeze of the ocean. So right now we're looking good, barely, just above freezing temps at night, and maybe 50 during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, this sounds like such an amazing journey. Obviously, all three of you are tagged on X, and also same thing with YouTube. I also posted the link. Gary's even showing the amazing logo that you guys have created. But tell us a little bit about how people can follow you. Where can they go? And obviously Nancy as well. But tell us a little bit about, you know, where people can follow you and watch this journey on really just come to life.
You want to go first, Justin?
Yeah, so you can follow me on YouTube, Bearded Tesla Guy, on all social media at Bearded Tesla. We will be doing some fun live-ish updates. We'll do a live stream, but along the way, we'll be dropping some fun content as it's happening, just to keep things exciting. And then it'll probably be, you know, a couple of weeks by the time the editing process comes to a completion before, you know, the big video comes out.
Yeah, the website has all the links to all the social media, and we do have a Facebook page and Instagram handle that have just been launched as well. in addition to the website. So make sure you follow all those different social channels, because there's going to be different content on all the different channels. Obviously, I'll have a different focus. I'll be looking at the environment, the ecology, the geology, and that sort of stuff. Maybe that's a little bit boring to some people, but I'm looking at the fact that we are going to be traversing through this boreal forest up to the tundra, and so there's going to be some really unique environmental stories to be told with regards to the how climate change is affecting these northern communities.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely keep an eye on the social media channels. Visit arcticcybertrek.com. That we literally launched last night. It was a hard, quick, labor combined effort between Gary and Justin and myself and another Justin, close friend of ours in Florida, putting everything together for us. And our social channels, you probably know them all. They're on the screen, but they're on the website also. Teslatino, TSLATNA for Nancy. Nancy's going to be taking some really cool photos. She uses her iPhone, and she has just been nominated for one of the best pictures in the world in one website. So she's going to have some amazing photos as part of the journey. We're going to create some fun content. And yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Well, you'll need to make sure to, Nancy, if you haven't shared the link, but I can repost it and even tag it to this this thread. But if there's a way to get involved in upvoting your candidacy for that photo, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There is a link to vote. We'll send it to you.
So, I think let's just end with closing remarks. Like, what is one thing you want people to leave with? Again, I posted on YouTube. Again, you can follow all of these links. I even posted on X on the thread. We're live on Instagram and Facebook, but you can literally go to arcticcybertrek.com and just, get all of the updates and just see what's going on. Along with, make sure you're following each one of these amazing people, just to kind of get it through their lens and see, how they're navigating this insane journey. So, but yeah, I think let's just close out. Each person, even Nancy should jump in, but just like, what is each person excited about? What do you want to leave people with as you embark on this amazing journey?
Yeah, Justin, you want to go first? I really want to be last.
Okay. So the closing remarks I have for all the people who have graciously offered your time today to tune in here. Our sponsors are amazing and they help make this possible, but in the same regard, so do you. And by engaging and tuning in, that's what makes this stuff possible. And we can't thank you enough. And I truly hope that you enjoy this journey. And for each of the, communities that I'm trying to capture here, I just want you to know that I am taking this with the utmost respect, and I'm doing my best to hopefully make you proud of who you are and what you represent. And I hope that I accomplish that mission for you.
Yeah, I'll go next. I'd like to thank all our sponsors as well, and as well acknowledge the sponsors that could be, because those sponsors you kind of missed out on here, and we do have some future opportunities for you guys so if it arises. I want to have a great acknowledgement to my wife, because as I mentioned, this is all time because of my house renovation, and of course this is like my house is not put together right now, so like my wife is really she is providing a lot of patience at this time, is especially that she didn't even know about this significant delay in our launch. So if she's watching this, thank you.
I just want to thank everyone, from Justin, Gary, of course, the whole community. Poppy over here by saying, "You ready for this?" And I said, "Yes, let's do it." I don't know who's crazier, him or me, but I want everybody to know that it's doable. Let's not wait. Do it now. Enjoy it to the fullest. To everyone involved, the community who's been supporting us, our friends, our family. They saying that we're a little crazy, but yeah, crazy is living. Crazy is having fun. Um, so don't be afraid. Just do it. And thank you. Thank you for being behind us through everything. We love you all.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard for me to follow all three of you, but since everything has been plugged to no end, the details of the trip, the reasons, and all that stuff, I want to leave everyone with one message that I've always fond of. Life is hard, but we sometimes make it harder than what it is. If you feel alone, if you feel like you're not valued, don't think like that. Try to find something that gets you excited. Try to avoid thinking about the future and being sad. When you think about the future, you should feel happy, because the future is the only thing that we haven't experienced, and we can make whatever we want out of it. So I hope that you enjoy what we are doing, although it's not that unique, because there are many different types of adventures. Each one is also very unique on its own. So I do appreciate the support of everyone, but more than anything, I want everyone that watches this that thinks, I would like to do something like that, but I will never be able to do it. I was thinking like that not long ago. And you just have to do your homework, put the work. Uh, Good stuff comes with hard work. Just put the work in, and you will have the best time of your life. That's my message to everyone.
Just do it.
Yeah, I feel like we should have like Nike shoes show up or something. Just do it. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that's life and its journey. Sometimes you have to take those big risks. Don't be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's just life. If we only have one life, and so it does matter, how you live and what you're living for, and your purpose, right? And it's something to evaluate constantly, whether you're earlier or off in your life, or you're in the middle or latter end of it. Or maybe you're Brian and you just have an amazing bobblehead face kind of going around on the journey, Futuraza. But, I think it's so important to, really just take risks. And that is what this Arctic CyberTREK is all about. It's just taking risks. No one knows how this is going to end up, what curveballs, because there's going to be a ton of curveballs that are going to be thrown at these four people. And, they're ready for it. They're going to keep us updated on everything. And ultimately, they're going to share their amazing journey when it's all said and done. So please make sure to support them, engaging, commenting, liking, subscribing, and also to following these four amazing people. So, again, go to arcticcybertrek.com. Again, all of that information is in the YouTube description and in the thread of the X live stream right now. So please engage. But you have heard it here first. You've heard it from really the mouth of the four people who are doing this journey about what they expect, their biggest challenges, what they hope for people to understand. And, again, the things that they're going to be having to navigate. So it's 1,000 miles uncharted, especially in probably the dopest truck, the most futuristic looking truck on the planet. They have completely overhauled their Cybertruck to overland it and make it look amazing with some of the best rims and tires on the planet. So I'm looking forward to it. I do want to shout out all of those amazing sponsors. I'm not going to remember all of them, whether it's Mars Mission One, EVJect, Tesbros, Unplugged. Again, the list kind of goes on. Eurlander, but just all of them, they have done an amazing job to support this. And so, as a community, how can you support? You engage, you repost, you like, you comment, and obviously, make sure you follow along. So, Any closing remarks? Otherwise, we will wind this down. But I think I could not be more excited for the 4 of you. I just want to wish you guys all of the best safety. Make sure you obviously let that kid come out in you, because if you don't, it's just going to be one of those things where, don't take things too seriously. Again, this is all stuff but that's the only words of advice I can give you.
I would like to publicly acknowledge all the work that you have put in as well. You are in a way part of our journey as well, and I like to appreciate. I like you to know that we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafael, for saying that. I appreciate that. Thank you, John. I think the same for you as well.
Why are you laughing, man?
I'm just teasing.
I'm joking.
I'm just teasing. Of course, man. Like, you're part of the DNA of the community, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Well, it is very exciting to watch your journey. So make sure you give them a follow, please, guys. Let's support them in a big way. Let's make sure that they feel the love of the community. The great thing is they're going to be connected through Starlink, so they're not going to be off the grid. But yeah, Arctic CyberTREK is happening in the next couple of days. The full launch happened today, so make sure you tune in. So thank you again for following, and safe travels, everyone.